Hey, so I'm back with another Yeti cooler hack video. And what I decided to do, because I had a lot of comments on the previous video, a lot of people were saying that they would have liked me to switch the lids of the previous coolers because I did not do a baseline test. The reason why I didn't do a baseline test, to be honest, when I did that video, I really thought that the Yeti cooler hacked cooler was actually going to win. I was just trying to do the video to see how much better it was. If I would have known, I would have made sure I did a baseline test. But anyway, everybody said they'd like to see me swap the lids on the one that I hacked versus the one that I didn't, because as you know, I did not do anything different to the bottom of the cooler. I only changed the top of the cooler. So I'm going to go ahead and change the two coolers, and I'm going to swap the lids. In the process of that, I've got a few other coolers that I want to test at the same time and see how long they do last. Okay, instead of doing a bag of ice, I decided to do, and I need to hurry up because it's going to melt out here in the sun, but they've all been out here at the same amount of time. This is actually a 2-quart container. It's hard to see. Let me see if I can get in the light with one of these, and you can see that there's measurements on the container. So my thought is, I put this in, I go 24 hours, I come back and I see how much water is how much water is in this container, how much ice is left. So that should tell me, you know, how well this did. Now they've all been sitting out here in the sun for about 5 minutes. I'm not sure how hot it is today. Let's just look with the pavement. The pavement shows it's 105. I think it's in the 90s today. So we'll see how well this goes. Here's our cooler. So I'm going to test the Styrofoam cooler because I just want to see how well those do. That thing's only about $5. I'm also going to test our 2 coolers that we had. A lot of people also said they didn't think they were the same cooler, and I think it's because of the sticker. Let me just show you. This one actually says Igloo on the front. This one does not, but I can tell you right now, if I take this sticker off, and let me just, it should be really quick and easy. I want to do this on camera so you can tell. Look there, Igloo. And then of course there is a sticker on the side, and it's a little bit different. And I think all they did is they just rebranded with a different sticker, because you can see that one's a little bit different. But the coolers are identical, and I'll show you. You can see here's the top. The top of the cooler has this sort of, I don't know, like half circle or whatever right there. And look at the lid of the other one. The lid of the other one is the same. You can see that's exactly the same. The bottom of the cooler, just so you can get a good look at it, see exactly how that looks. And then the other one, look and see exactly how that looks. Now what I'm gonna do, this is the cooler that I altered. It's been sitting in my attic for a long time, so it's a little dusty. I'm gonna get a screw, undo this, actually just this right here, pull that lid off, and I'm gonna stick it on that one. Now while I do these tests, I'm also gonna test a Yeti cooler. This is a Yeti 45. So I'm gonna test this cooler and see how it does. And then I also got an Ozark Trail, Walmart brand, Yeti kind of hacked cooler. The only difference on this one is it does have wheels, but it says somewhere on here 45 quart. Okay, so I just want to see if the Ozark Trail beats the Yeti, and at the same time I want to swap the lids on these two and see how our Yeti hack cooler goes. And then over off to the side, and I hope this doesn't do as good as any of these because it's only about $5, but it's a Styrofoam cooler. We'll try that. So here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and take this off. I've just got a Phillips head screwdriver. And a lot of you said that you thought air did better than insulation. I think you're probably right if you're talking about a vacuum, but just that hole right there prevents any vacuum from taking place. So I'm just gonna move this from here over to here. And there is no vacuum. This is the original cooler lid, and you can see I can push that in. It's just, there's no vacuum there. So I'm swapping them right now, and we'll see how well this does. And I'm gonna screw this one back down into here. I don't know if I could do it. And I know some of you wanted me to pre-chill the coolers. Because I have so many coolers, I'm not actually pre-chilling. To be honest, I don't, that's not even going in. There we go. To be honest, I don't pre-chill my own cooler before I'm using it. I'm walking out the door and I go. I did look on the Yeti website. They did talk about pre-chilling your cooler and making even a sacrificial bag of ice. I might do that as we go a little bit further into this. But right now, I just think if I put them all in at the same time, then the performance is going to be based off of when everything's put in there. Here's our ice. See it? I'm going to put one in here. I'm going to put one in here. And before I close them up, let's figure out what the temperature is. The temperature is 88 degrees on the bottom of that one. Let's get closer. Now it says 90 degrees on that one. Oh no, it's closer, well, closer to that. 90, 88. I don't know why one's a little bit different, but we're talking 2 degrees. It's not that big of a deal. I'm gonna close it up. I'm gonna close this one up. One of each in the Ozark Trail cooler. One in the Yeti. Now, prior to doing this, I filled these up identical. They have 2 quarts of water. I'm gonna latch this one down. I'm gonna latch this one down. And our last but not least cooler, this little guy right here. And here goes our latch. All right, something I forgot to check. I just checked on the other ones. I didn't check the temperature, so let's just open up the Yeti real quick and hit the side. It says 78.2. We'll close it up. I'm gonna check the Ozark Trail. Looks like about 75. Yeah, it's about 75. So that's about 3 degrees different on the two. I'm not really sure why. They came over the same way. And the little foam cooler, 69, 70. You go, little foam cooler. All right, so that's where we're starting. That's our baseline for all of them, okay? All right, so it's actually about 2 o'clock. I put these coolers here last night around 7 o'clock. I haven't opened them at all. There was actually a storm that came through here last night. I'm just happy they're all still sitting here. I brought this just in case the amount of water is too close to call. So I'll pour water into this if it is, just to see how much is missing and how much ice is left over. Right now, I think it's probably close to 100 degrees outside. The pavement says 116 degrees. So these coolers are sitting on a pretty hot area. I really hope that there's some ice left. That's why I didn't wait 24 hours. If you haven't seen my first video that talked about how I modified one of these coolers and one of them I left stock, please go take a look at that. I'll leave that comment, or I'll leave that link in the description. One thing I also wanted to mention is the Yeti cooler. There was a lot of people that talked about how air is better than insulation, and you know, you could be right. I don't really know, but I will say this. There is a video out there where they cut this Yeti in half, and there was insulation on the top and insulation in the bottom. So if you want to look at that video, I'll even link that video in the description so you can see what it looks like when they cut this in half. All right, now I'm going to open these up and I'm going to see where we're at. Let's start off. This is the cooler that had a stock base, and I switched the lids yesterday, so it's got my hacked lid to it. Let's see what it looks like. Wow, is there any ice on this? I don't think there's any ice at all. No ice. No ice. Let's hope there's at least some here. All right, no ice. So I went too long. I should have checked these in the beginning. All right, let's see about our little about our little foam cooler. Let's see where this is. There's water from this morning. Holy smoke. I will say this. There's no ice in here, but this is cold water. That was lukewarm in both of those. I should have got the temperature. I didn't even think to do that, but let's look at this water. This water is 61 degrees. that water in there was at least 80, maybe 90 degrees. Of course, I didn't check it, so I don't know now, but I can tell from the difference. This is cold water. Let's look at the Ozark Trail first. Oh, wow. Still ice. You can see, you know what, let's do this. Let's pour it out. Here, we'll pour it in our cup. Where did I put my cup? All right, that's 4 cups of water right there. Cold water. All right, and now we're sitting at about 2 cups of water. So 6 cups of this 2 quarts was melted, and you can see there's some ice in there. Do you see the ice in there? So that's what's left. All right, now if we look at the Yeti cooler, you know, one thing I want to check real quick is the temperature. What's the temperature in here? It says it's about 68 degrees in this cooler. Is it any different anywhere I go? It's a little bit hotter over here. Of course, there was nothing there. Now let's go to the Yeti. All right, what's the temperature in here? 62, 65 over there. And let's see how much is water versus ice. And if you remember, the Yeti even started out colder. Oh, I'm sorry, the Ozark Trail started out colder than the Yeti. I remember there was a 3-degree difference. All right, there's 4 cups right there. I'm gonna pour this out. Let's see how much is left. All right, to be honest, it's right at the 2-cup mark. So I would have to say it's a tie between the Yeti and the Ozark Trail. I think it's a tie. All right, this is going to be the 3rd and final attempt. I'm not pre-chilled any of these coolers, but you can see here's all the coolers. They've been sitting here overnight, and in this little shed right now, it's 62 degrees. So they've all been chilled to about 62 degrees. So I'm going to go ahead and take these right now outside. We're going to put the new ice in them, and we're going to proceed with the same test. All right, before I put the ice in them, I'm going to quickly check to see what the temperature is. They've just been sitting here for less than 30 seconds. The temperature on this one shows 83 degrees. I'll put the lid back on. This one's backwards. This is the stock cooler. The temperature inside this one shows 75 degrees. The temperature on this one shows 75 degrees. The Yeti, oh, not the Yeti, the Ozark Trail, my mistake, shows 71 degrees inside. The Yeti cooler shows 70 degrees inside. So they're all right about the same. I'm gonna go ahead and put the ice in. Okay, I've got the ice in a different cooler, so I don't affect the results here. So here goes the Ozark Trail. The Yeti. The little foam cooler. All right, this is the stock. If I can open the lid. This is the stock cooler. And then the modified cooler right here. One last thing before I come back. It shows that the pavement is about 107 degrees. I think it's about 90 degrees outside. I'm gonna be back in about 2 to 3 hours and we'll see where we're at. Okay, so we're back. It's actually been about 8 hours since I was here, mainly because it stormed a lot. I did come back one time. I didn't open anything, but I put the rocks on the tops of those because there was a lot of heavy wind. I didn't want anything to blow open. The temperature outside is in the 70s. You can see the pavement is now 83 degrees. I'm gonna take these rocks off and we'll see where we're at. Yeah, the rocks are a little bit dirty, it looks like. So this one, I can see we have some ice in there. Let's see where we have Oh, uh-oh, I spilled some. Okay, I spilled probably up to the, I don't know, 3 3/4 mark on that. So we'll say that was 3, or we could probably say 3.5. We'll say 3.5 is what it is. Okay, we're heading over here. Boy, these rocks are actually pretty heavy. I don't remember which one this is, but we'll find out as soon as we open it. This is the 100% stock cooler. All right, here we go. Gosh, I'm going to end up spilling some of this, so we'll see how much is in here. Whoa, well, that's easily 4 cups right there. So already the little foam cooler beats it. All right, and then it's about another 1/2 cup. So 4.5 cups for the stock cooler. All right, here's the cooler that I actually hacked. If you haven't seen my video, it will be linked. Looks like water actually got in this thing. Here we go. We're gonna try this one. All right, that's at 4 cups. I don't know if you can actually see it, but it's at 4 cups. And let's see how much we have left. And you can probably see that's about 1/2. So to be honest, I don't know what to say. I still think that the hack doesn't work. I don't know if you could see. Well, I was gonna see if I could get the sun, but there's not much sun out here. But I don't think the cooler hack worked. This is my hacked lid from last year. It's actually been almost a complete year. I did it in August. This is July. And this is 100% stock cooler. So the hacks that I did to this, the only thing different right now from my video is at one time I did have a seal around this. There's no seal. The hack does not seem to work still, in my opinion. So let's head over to the Ozark Trail and the Yeti. I didn't take the temperatures in the other two. I'm going to do that with these. Ugh. Okay, so here's the Ozark Trail. Let's see what the temperature is inside. Oh, it's on Celsius. Fahrenheit. Ooh, 46 degrees. That's pretty cold. Let's see what we get here. Okay, completely emptied. We're sitting at about, I don't know if you can see it, but it's about 2 cups. Okay, here goes the Yeti cooler. Ooh, a little bit of water. Temperature inside, I don't know why it comes on that. 43.8 degrees, so it's a little bit cooler. Let's see how much of this we have. I spilled a little bit, not much, just a little bit. And actually, to be honest, it's just slightly over the 2. But I also spilled a little bit. I would say it would probably be closer to 2 1/4, where the Ozark Trail was at about 2. So in my opinion, it's really close to a tie. But actually in this test, the Ozark Trail did beat it by about 1/4 of water that was still in its container. Now, of course, I'm doing a pretty crazy experiment here where the pavement started out at 100+ degrees, and you know, they've been sitting here baking in the sun. That's not typically what a lot of people do with these coolers. I know they probably put them in a more shaded condition, but I'm making sure that I do the same thing for all the coolers. So seeing that I'm doing the exact same thing for all the coolers, this is the results that are coming out. I think that you could, you know, judge for yourself which ones you think are the best one to go with. But I will say this one costs $2.99. This one costs $1.49. The only difference I think with this one versus this one that I don't like personally, I do like that. Look, you can see there's a bottle opener on it. You clearly see there's wheels on it. You've got a holder here so you can quickly just roll it away. Other than that, it looks like pretty much the same cooler. The thing I don't like is this is so much wider that it doesn't fit behind the third row in my SUV, whereas this one does. Okay, so I just want to say in conclusion, the very first video I did where it said, do Yeti hacks work? I compared the two red coolers. I did some changes to the front. There was a lot of comments and a lot of things that people asked me to try. I didn't actually have time to try them in this video. I'll probably do a video in the future and I'll try some of the things that people suggested. If you have any comments about what I did here today or anything that you'd like to me to do with any of these 4 coolers, let me know. But I will say, in my opinion, it looks like the Ozark Trail just barely beat out the Yeti. Yeti was second. The little cheap foam cooler was third, followed by those over there as being a tie for 5th place. Thank you. Thanks for watching. I hope this helped you. If it did, please give us a thumbs up, maybe even subscribe. Check out our other videos. Thanks.